In this video, we're going to go over couples communication and a few things that might be interfering with your ability to effectively communicate with your spouse and maybe affecting their ability to truly hear the things that you're saying to them. In communication, there's a couple things that are always happening. There's the words that you're speaking. Right now, I'm saying words to you, but there's also the way you're interpreting the words that I'm saying. So I could say something like, I had a busy day today. I'm saying those words that I had a busy day, but the way you picture the word busy might be different than the way I do. I might mean the kids had attitude problems and work didn't go really well, but you could be thinking of busy as something else. Like, I've got a bunch of things on my to-do list that I wasn't able to get to. It could happen in subtle ways like that. Another area that people miss in their communication is the emotions that are being implied behind the words. And it's not even necessarily the words themselves. I could give you an example, and I'll do it real quick. And I want you to pay attention to what emotions am I communicating, but I'm going to say words that aren't really words. La-di-da, da-da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. When you heard that, you might be thinking, oh, he's anxious, he's worried, he's stressed out, maybe he's excited. But I didn't actually communicate any words, but I was showing emotions. Here's another example. La-di-da and da and da-da-da, da, 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 da. Okay, and that one, it's like he's sad. He's worried about something. Something has happened. Maybe he's feeling depressed. No matter what happens, when you communicate, there's also emotions that are being sent out as well. And those emotions can also be misinterpreted. The third form is the nonverbal communication. Physically, what you're doing with your body, the ways your eyes look, the way you position your body, that's also going to communicate and send some type of message to the person that you're talking to. In the model emotionally focused therapy, they have this thing called the ARE, and it's like a questionnaire. And what it says is that in every interaction, we're asking these questions. Is the person I'm talking to accessible, responsive, and engaged? And if the person's not, it sends a message that they're not really available to have a good conversation. For me, I had a back surgery when I was 15 for scoliosis. So I had like a 75-degree curve, and now my curve is still about 45 degrees. So when I sit back, because my curve is on this side, I naturally tilt this way. So if you and I were talking, but my body's positioned this way, but you're right here, it's going to be sending you a message of whether I know it or not. And you don't know I have a back surgery, so you're probably going to interpret it like I'm not really interested in what you're telling me. But if I'm face forward directly at you, that's going to say I'm more engaged. And that's an example of something that I don't even think about every day because I just sit that way because my back is humped. But a random person, they're not going to know that. And that's how quickly a misunderstanding can take place. So what you have is you have your words that can be misinterpreted. You have your emotions that can be misinterpreted as well. And you also have the nonverbal things that you do with your body that can be misinterpreted. So when people say we don't have good communication, what they're really saying is we don't really understand all the things that we're actually communicating. In order to address this, what I do is I focus on making the implicit explicit. So that means communicating on a deeper level of what all is really going on. This might seem like wow, that's asking me to do a lot of extra stuff. And it is initially. Most people in conversations, they misinterpret an interaction thinking that they're on the same page, but they're not. So what I'm saying is on the front end, it's better to over communicate in order to reduce misunderstandings before you proceed forward in whatever it is you're going to do. So that could be as simple as, say you want to take your wife out for lunch today, and you just send her a message and say, hey, you want to grab lunch today? And then she responds and says, no, I got some stuff I got to do around the house, or I'm busy at work too. I can't make it. You might be hurt, like, man, like I kind of wanted to hang out with her. I was hoping we could get some quality time in because I know the rest of the week's going to be stressful. But you did not communicate that to her. So making the implicit explicit in that example would be, instead of saying, hey, do you want to grab lunch today? It'd be saying, hey, I was thinking about the week we have, and I know there's a lot going on. Are you free to grab lunch today? I'd really like us to have some time to connect before things get really crazy. When you communicate that, it shares the heart behind what you're actually wanting to do, and it helps the other person cue in of that you actually value and care about the relationship. The same goes with emotions. When you see someone talking to you and they're heightened and they're all tensed up, that is a communicating to you that you need to slow down and make the implicit explicit. So that would be saying just what you noticed. Hey, I noticed when you were talking that you seemed anxious. Is there something that's bothering you right now? And then when you do that, it slows the conversation down and it allows you to begin to more fully understand what the other person is saying. Or if in the example of me with my back like that, I might not be thinking that I'm maybe offending you because I just am used to my back being hunched because it's been like that for like 30 years. No, I'm not 40. I'm not 45. I'm 40. Man, my math is bad. So 20 years, it has been like this. So if I'm sitting there like that, I might need you to say something like, hey, I noticed that you're not really looking at me when we speak. Is there something that I've done that's bothered you? And then it would be on me to be like, oh, wow, dude, I actually had a back surgery. My back's just kind of hunched and it puts me like that. But man, thanks for taking the time to clarify that with me. When you make the implicit explicit, it initially adds more work because you have to think about what you're really saying, sharing what you're feeling. But on the back end, it has tremendous payoff because it cleans up communication, reduces unnecessary misunderstandings, and it reconnects and puts you and your spouse on the same page instead of unintentionally misinterpreting each other left and right, then getting frustrated because they didn't understand you, and you get stuck in this snowball of frustrations and tension. It seems harder on the front end, but it has tremendous payoff. Thanks for watching. Let me know any thoughts or questions in the comments. Thank you.